Daniel Eads joins forces with Ron Powers for tag team action today on SICW Wrestling Explosion. Hello, I'm Larry Matisick. Powers was thrilled to team with Eads, who has loads of potential and is learning every time out. Tough opponents are waiting though, the rugged Axe and the huge Frankie the Thumper Wyatt. We'll also talk with Jake Durden about his battle with Flash Flanagan April 26th in East Carondelet. In addition, a classic St. Louis moment involves an exciting girls tag match from 1981. All the fun begins right after these messages. Ron Powers goes outside the ring after introductions, sees his buddy Austin at ringside, says, "Come on, stand up." He wants to give him his sunglasses and everything, and his bandana. There you go, Austin. Ron Powers and Daniel Eads against Frankie the Thumper Wyatt and Axe. That's nice of Ron Powers to go out and find his buddy and make sure he's there. Wait a minute, here comes Frankie the Thumper. And Frankie the Thumper Wyatt wasn't going to wait. He slams Ron Powers head first into the press table. Then he yells at Austin, and Ron Powers isn't going to take this. And the Thumper thumps the press table. Look out! It's Ron Powers with the press table banging on the head of Thumper Wyatt. Ron Powers. We haven't even started yet, and Frankie the Thumper is probably sorry for whatever he said and did. Ron Powers grabs the Thumper and bangs his head into the ring post, and Frankie the Thumper Wyatt heads to the other side of the ring where Axe is. No, where Axe is leaving. And says, well, we'll see about this. And I think the bell is now sounding to start the match. Powers and Eads against Thumper and Axe. A kick to the stomach, and then an elbow to the head by Powers on Thumper. Thumper whipped to the ropes, clothesline to the head. Ron went right for the forehead, and now he turns him over to Daniel Eads, the youngster from Metropolis, Illinois. Forearm smashes by Daniel Eads. A knee to the stomach of the Thumper by Daniel Eads. Good-looking kid. The ladies love him, that's for sure. He tries to lift the Thumper. That's not going to work. A 300-plus pound. I have to figure out how much the Thumper weighs. He's got to be close to 400 pounds himself. Axe doesn't weigh 400 pounds, and Eads just slammed him once and slammed him twice. Two big body slams by Daniel Eads. Side headlock. Side headlock, and over the hip goes Axe, under control of Daniel Eads. Daniel, when he comes to the ring, wears a Superman t-shirt. Why not? Metropolis, Illinois. Where was Superman from? And a lot of people say, hey, Daniel Eads reminds me of Superman, that great physique and everything. He's going to go places in wrestling, and I'm inclined to agree with him. He's young. He's learning every time out. He's not going to win them all, but he's starting to win a lot of them, and he's starting to learn, and having a chance to tag team with Ron Powers as his partner can't hurt, might help. Daniel Eads with a flying tackle on Axe. Axe rough and tumble. He's been around. He knows how to take care of himself. And he also knows to get back in his own corner for a second. And he wants to see if Thumper wants to come into the ring. Daniel Eads says, here comes Ron Powers. Well, does Thumper want Powers? I guess he does. We're going to see how this works out. Thumper was over there massaging his head where Ron Powers destroyed the press table, banging it over his head. Thumper's complaining about it now. He's complaining to Eads about it. Well, no sympathy there from the gentleman from Metropolis, Illinois. Superman, huh? Have to keep that in mind. Thumper pushes Powers in the corner, throws a forearm punch. It's wild. Ron Powers says, is that all you got? Powers knows exactly how to find that needle and stick it in. Psychology is something Ron does. Now he offers to do a test of strength. The Thumper says to Axe, what's he want? Axe says, let's talk about this. Axe has been around a little bit more. He's trying to settle down his young partner because Frankie Wyatt is also relatively young at this game. Got a lot of potential, though. As Herb Simmons, the promoter, often says, he reminds him of Earthquake John Tenta. And that's a big man who can move around, and I'll tell you, Frankie the Thumper Wyatt can do that. Oh, they are going to test strength. Let's see. Powers reaches up. Oh, he outsmarted Frankie the Thumper. The Thumper went to eye gouge Ron Powers, but Ron Powers been there before. He got his eye gouge in before Frankie the Thumper could get his eye gouge in. The shoulder driven into the stomach. A wide, ample target for Ron Powers to shoot at there. Reverse whip. Ooh, Powers catches that in the chest, and then a clubbing forearm from the back puts Powers down. Everybody makes mistakes. Powers underneath, and then he bench presses Frankie Wyatt off. 350-plus pounds. Bench pressed off by Ron Powers. Yeah, he says, I still got it. And he tags in Daniel Eads. It's a time for a psychology moment. It's a time for a strategy session between Axe and Frankie Wyatt. Tag made. Here comes Axe. Axe, a little more cautious, a little more careful, wants to slow things down. Things were a little out of control from his standpoint. His team was in trouble, but Axe takes advantage of Eads, gets him into the corner, and Axe begins flailing away, pounding on Daniel Eads. Eads fighting his way out of the corner, though. Forearm smash puts Axe down. Daniel Eads trying to fight his way from the corner. Eads whips Axe to the ropes. Throws a forearm that misses, and Axe, oh, he takes advantage of that. Side headlock. Eads' forearm missed. Axe saw it coming, got his head down low and underneath, and then came up with a headlock of his own. Axe is a smart cookie. Don't ever count him out. The more we see him, the more impressive he looks. Again, the side headlock by Eads. Everybody in that ring is going to be in East Carondelet on Saturday, April 26th, and that's going to be quite an evening as you watch the Thumper nail Eads with a knee to the back. Can you imagine that tag match? Ron Powers and Chaz Wesson on the same side. You know how much both of them right now love Ricky Cruz. On the opposite side from Chaz Wesson and Ron Powers will be the aforementioned Ricky Cruz and 410-pound Bull Bronson. Oh, he's a monster. Bull Bronson teaming up with Ricky Cruz against Powers and Chaz. Headbutt to the back by Frankie the Thumper on Daniel Eads. And then, of course, the Classic Wrestling Championship on the line. Gary Jackson determined to make this the biggest moment of his career. Determined to win the one title he hasn't gotten yet as Gary Jackson goes after Iron Man Ken Casa. And then we still get to this one. How about this one? Jake Durden, Flash Flanagan. Flanagan, he thinks he deserves a title match. Jake Durden thinks he deserves a title match. Let's find out. Durden against Flanagan. What an evening April 26th is going to be. That's a loaded card. Heath Hatton will be there. High-flying Heath Hatton. The Farmer Big Texan, Jim Holfirth, will be there. Matt Cage will be around on April the 26th. Going to be a lot of action. April 26th, the East Carondelet Community Center. Jam-packed again as you watch this match. And Frankie Wyatt went for a cover on Daniel Eads, but Eads kicked out from underneath. Eads trapped underneath all that bulk of Frankie the Thumper. Axe, oh, takes advantage of it. Good tag team work by Wyatt and Axe. If illegal, but nonetheless it worked. Into the lower back. They begin pounding. As strong and as tall as Daniel Eads is, that lower back could be vulnerable. Forearm uppercut by Axe on Daniel Eads. And now Axe literally stands, almost stands. He traps the head and the throat of Daniel Eads on the top rope. Daniel Eads having some troubles now as Axe has captained his team. He's calmed Frankie Wyatt down, and Axe has been able to work things out. Oh, now he goads Ron Powers into coming into the ring. The referee has to get in there and keep Ron Powers from Axe, while Frankie Wyatt is outside the ring stomping on Daniel Eads. Good captain of his team there. Axe, maybe he'll be a baseball manager someday, huh? You think? Maybe the Grizzlies will want him to manage the Grizzlies someday instead of Phil Warren. I don't think so. Not the way Warren's doing a great job down with the Grizzlies. And in fact, not too long from now, the Gateway Grizzlies will be starting their season, so get ready for the Grizzlies to start their great season at a wonderful ballpark. What a tremendous ballpark that is. As we know, we had a wrestling card there last year. Here comes Frankie Wyatt into the ring. Drives a shoulder into the back of Daniel Eads. They're really working on the back of Eads. What's Frankie have in mind? Oh, that forearm across the forehead of Eads. And Eads is taking some punishment now. Try for a pin by Frankie Wyatt, but Eads kicks out. Youth. Isn't it great when you have all that fire and energy? You can still take punishment and come back like Daniel Eads has. Bear hug from behind by Frankie Wyatt on Daniel Eads. Too far away to get a tag. Powers knows that. Daniel Eads trying to figure out a way to get up. Axe trying to give a help from outside the ring, a little extra leverage there. And then Wyatt, as you see, using the ropes for some extra leverage. That makes Ron Powers mad. Here comes Powers into the ring, and that gives Axe a chance to start stomping on Daniel Eads. Referee Keith Smith Jr. chases Powers out. Is there a tag there? Axe says, of course I tagged him. I don't seem to remember that. But nonetheless, Axe is in there. Once again, taking advantage of the situation. Axe and Frankie Wyatt. Axe, whoa, powered up, muscled up by the Superman from Metropolis. Eads gets over to make a tag with Ron Powers, and that brings Powers into the ring. And he's after Axe. Keith Smith Jr., wait a minute, Keith Smith's yelling at Powers. A boot to the chin of Axe, but Keith Smith is chasing Powers out of the ring. Powers incensed. He didn't realize that they didn't see the tag. And now here comes, oh, did you see that? Frankie Wyatt in the ring again. He slapped his own hands together. The referee heard the slap, thought that was the tag on the other side. Wyatt and Axe proving all of a sudden to be quite a formidable tag team. And now Wyatt stomping down full weight on the back of Daniel Eads. Eads, that's not good. Don't want to catch too many of those. Oh, Wyatt goaded him into coming up, and by the time he just got up, then Wyatt could sit down on his back again one more time. Pulling back on the chin, a camel clutch by Frankie the Thumper. Wyatt putting Eads in trouble. Eads trying to get to his feet. Not so easy when Wyatt was across his back. Ron Powers leaning forward to encourage him on. Arguing again with the referee. Wyatt lands a punch and then a legal tag. First one we've seen of those in a while. Here comes Axe. Axe, hands busted away. Eads trying to fight his way out of the corner. Forearm smashes by Eads. Knee to the stomach by Axe. Side headlock by Axe again. Looking where the referee is. He was going to throw a punch. You know, he's thinking about, oh, look out there. Remember when Dave Vaughn and Heath Hedden had that head-on collision a few weeks back and nearly beheaded each other? Down go Axe and Daniel Eads, the referee, counting. Axe reaching out to the wrong corner for a tag. Crowd chanting, Daniel, Daniel, Daniel. A decidedly feminine sound to that crowd as they yell for Daniel Eads. I think he's getting more of the young ladies, but here comes Powers into the ring, and he's there just in time to meet up with Frankie Wyatt. And he also drops Axe, Ron Powers. He brings a big man up and gives him a body slam. He brings Axe up, a body slam from Ron Powers. Both Frankie the Thumper and Axe being body slammed by Ron Powers. Powers yells at Eads, get your man in that corner. I know what Ron Powers is thinking. He's making sure that Eads is in charge. Says, let's whip them together, and they do. Axe and Wyatt whip together. Then a clothesline by Powers takes Axe out of the picture over the top rope. And Frankie the Thumper Wyatt stuck in that corner. A kick into the stomach by Daniel Eads. Powers with an eye on Frankie the Thumper. What's he got in mind? He's waiting to see where he's going. A kick to the head by Powers. He grabs Frankie the Thumper by the head, leans him forward. Oh, DDT. DDT by Ron Powers. Hear that? Ron Powers yells, you want to see Superman fly. What does he have in mind? Frankie the Thumper still down. Powers grabs Eads. He's ready to, where's he going to do? He's going to fire him halfway across the ring, and there's a target. Look out below. Superman went flying, and Daniel Eads thrown across the ring by Ron Powers. Eads covers Thumper. And there it is, the count of 3. Ron Powers and Daniel Eads with the victory over Frankie the Thumper, Wyatt, and Axe. Powers, after that DDT, launches Eads off the top rope, and he takes Thumper down and ends up with a pin. Big victory for Ron Powers and Daniel Eads. They looked good together, and I'll tell you, that didn't hurt Daniel Eads one bit to be in the ring with a tough character like Ron Powers as a partner. Saturday, April 26th, SICW presents a sensational card at the East Carondelet Community Center. Jake Durden and Flash Flanagan square off. Durden versus Flanagan. Ricky Cruz and 410-pound Bull Bronson tangle with Chaz Wesson and Ron Powers. Cruz and Bull versus Chaz and Powers. Iron Man Ken Casa defends the classic title against Gary Jackson. Casa versus Jackson. For tickets, call 286-4848. Get ready for an explosion Saturday, April 26th. Durden against Flash. Cruz and Bull against Chaz and Powers, Casa against Jackson. As we prepared for the card on Saturday, April 26th at the East Carondelet Community Center where SICW brings Wrestling Explosion, I talked to Flash Flanagan. Flash Flanagan will be tangling with Jake Durden on April the 26th. And Flash Flanagan said to me, oh, that's good. I can use Jake Durden as a stepping stone to the Classic Wrestling Championship. So Jake Durden, I ask you, are you going to be a stepping stone for Flash Flanagan on April the 26th?
A stepping stone?
That's what the man said to me.
Let's see him say that to my face. When have I ever been a stepping stone around here, Larry?
Not yet. It hasn't happened. But you know what he's thinking? Should I go through why he's thinking this? Twice you've wrestled the Classic Wrestling Champion. While he has not been able to put your shoulders to the mat, he has not pinned you. You have not taken the title from him. But I'm sure Flash is thinking, he couldn't pin Flash. He couldn't pin Jake Durden. But I, Flash Flanagan, can pin Jake Durden. Therefore, I get a title shot. That's what he's thinking, Jake. What are you thinking when you hear that?
I'm thinking it's the same damn thing I always hear. It's the same thing that everybody thinks when they look across the ring and see me. Maybe I got a chance. Forget about all that crap. I'm no weekend warrior. I'm not a fly-by-the-night. I am the real deal. My name is Jake Durden, and I'm the best wrestling that you're going to find in the St. Louis area, and the United States, or around the world.
Now, you know Flash Flanagan has also been around the world. He's had a terrific background. He's been in Japan. He's been in Puerto Rico. Look at his battles with Ron Powers, and I know you have tremendous respect for Ron Powers. But look what's happened there. He's given Ron Powers a heck of a run for the money. Now he wants you, April 26th.
He wants me. I saw him against Ron Powers, and I saw him hold his own. And if you can hold your own against Ron Powers, that means you're a heck of a man, and you can stand up and fight against anybody. But I'm Jake Durden. There's a reason that these people cheer for me. There's a reason that they believe in me. The reason is I get anybody in my way, and I move them as quickly as possible and as violently as possible. And Flash is going to be no different.
And I know Flash brought up one thing to me in a tag match. Before you had that last championship battle against Casa, you got a fall on Flanagan, and it happened because Ron Powers happened to hit Flanagan with a chair. And Flanagan says, you didn't deserve it. He told me, he says, Durden doesn't deserve that. Durden doesn't deserve to be where he is. All he did was run you down. And I don't mean to be carrying tales, but he's saying it to everybody in wrestling.
Well, he's a lot of talk, ain't he?
Right
he
now.
loves to run his mouth. You know what I do? I shut people up.
April
And Flash, I'm shutting you up next.
April the 26th, East Carondelet, Jake Durden, Flash Flanagan. This will be a war. Saturday, April 26th, SICW presents a sensational card at the East Carondelet Community Center. Jake Durden and Flash Flanagan square off. Durden versus Flanagan. Ricky Cruz and 410-pound Bull Bronson tangle with Chaz Wesson and Ron Powers. Cruz and Bull versus Chaz and Powers. Iron Man Ken Casa defends the classic title against Gary Jackson. Casa versus Jackson. For our tickets, call 286-4848. Get ready for an explosion Saturday, April 26th. Durden against Flash. Cruz and Bull against Chaz and Powers. Casa against Jackson.
She's breaking every rule in the book and then some.
One of the finest girls tag teams ever was Joyce Grable and Wendi Richter. On Wrestling at the Chase, August 2nd, 1981, Grable and Richter clashed with Carol Sommers and Jill Fontaine.
Richter bounces Fontaine off the ropes. Fontaine leapfrogs over the top again. Oh no, Richter retreating. She knew what might be coming there, that flying cross body block. Instead it's a monkey flip. Drop kick right to the chest, levels Wendi Richter. Richter whipped to the ropes. Oh, Richter stopped herself and misses with a kick. Thrown to land at the head of Jill Fontaine. Fontaine lifts Richter for a body slam. Fontaine hits the ropes. Giant splash misses. As Richter will. Here comes Grable. Grable hitting the ropes. And she misses with a giant splash on Fontaine. Sommers tried a giant splash at Grable, and she misses.
If the health center better put water in this spring, I'll tell you, they're really diving around.
Yeah, but Richter didn't miss. She nailed Sommers right in the small of the back with that diving splash. Sommers is hurt from that collision with Wendi Richter, and all four girls are battered right now. Sommers grabs the arm of Wendi Richter. Fontaine has the arm of Grable, and Grable and Richter are... Oh, they caught arms. Come on, drop kicks and miss. They missed the drop kicks after avoiding being rammed together. Lee Warren has to look at which two girls belong inside the ring. Eddie Smith trying to explain who belongs in there. Richter's outside the ring on one side, and Joyce Grable's out on the other. Richter's flat on her belly down the concrete floor, and she has a count of 20 to get back in that ring. Wendi Richter very upset with one of the fans as she begins to get back in there. She's taking full advantage of that count to try and regain her breath. Wendi Richter back up on the apron. Well, everything went wrong for Richter and Grable right there. Fontaine and Sommers making their presence known now. Fontaine hooks the arms of Richter and catapults her clear across the ring. Fontaine again going for that double leg catapult. Into the air goes Richter. Her ribs must be disintegrated. Oh, the giant splash comes right down across the knees of Wendi Richter. For all her wildness, she uses her head. She got those knees up and caught Jill Fontaine right in the stomach. Fontaine hurled to the ropes and dropped by Wendi Richter with a forearm smash. Another smash drops Jill Fontaine. That Richter is so big and tough she can take the punishment. She still comes back. It's like she hasn't taken a lump at all.
10 minutes have passed, 10 minutes left.
And I gotta tell you something about Wendi Richter. She's got some bruises on her thighs. I can see a welt on her ribs. She's taken some beating in this match, but she's still able to come back, storm back. She just won't quit. Grable puts Fontaine down after gouging the eyes. Fontaine dropped. Most of the blows actually by Grable and Richter are forearm smashes that makes them legal punches. Grable right on top of Sommers. Flying, oh, look at Sommers, stop that. A catapult, catching herself a cartwheel and a drop kick. A second drop kick puts Joyce Grable down. A third drop kick misses. Oh, Grable suckered her in. She lured her in, and Sommers tried that drop kick, and it missed because Grable stepped back. Grable, using her head, got out of the way. Richter. A backflip. They catch Sommers in the air. Oh, and Sommers thrown down heavily on her neck and shoulder. Richter then catches Fontaine on a forearm smash, knocking her off the apron. I guess you would call that a reverse body slam by Joyce Grable as she literally dropped Carol Sommers right on her head with a little bit of help from Wendi Richter. Well, I guess that's why they have the belts. That proves they are claimants of the World Ladies Tag Team title. Joyce Grable and Wendi Richter, as rough and as exciting as you can expect from any tag team combination.
Saturday, April 26th, SICW presents a sensational card at the East Carondelet Community Center. Jake Durden and Flash Flanagan square off. Durden versus Flanagan. Ricky Cruz and 410-pound Bull Bronson tangle with Chaz Wesson and Ron Powers. Cruz and Bull versus Chaz and Powers. Iron Man Ken Casa defends the classic title against Gary Jackson. Casa versus Jackson. For tickets, call 286-4848. Get ready for an explosion Saturday, April 26th. Durden against Flash, Cruz and Bull against Chaz and Powers, Casa against Jackson. With the help of Ron Powers, Daniel Eads sure went flying like Superman, didn't he? That was quite a tag bout against Axe and Frankie Wyatt. Now Powers looks to Saturday, April 26th, when Ron teams with Chaz Wesson to meet 410-pound Bull Bronson and Ricky Cruz at the East Carondelet Community Center. That is quite a card on tap for April 26th. Flanagan, Durden, Casa, Jackson, Hatton, Hofarth, Hargis, more. But that's what fans expect from SICW.